Hello YouTube. So I have now just crossed the border to Norway, done my COVID test, and I've been granted entry to Norway, and I'm driving down towards the sea and towards our new boat, so I need to keep my eyes on the road. But things are really exciting for us because well, this is a boat that we are going to be sailing to Iceland and then hopefully Greenland afterwards. But it's also a boat that I've never been inside of it, and actually no one's been inside of the boat during the last almost 3 years. The boat was left on the hard in Tromsø, and no one's been able to gain access to it because of the COVID restrictions, and also the boat wasn't prepared for that. And the other thing is that well, at this point we are pretty much committed. As you can see, I have all of my gear with me. This is like everything that I've ever owned in my life, and my girlfriend Sophie, she has rented out her apartment and she's going to join me in a week or two. So we are fully committed. No matter what kind of condition the boat is in, we are gonna have to get it fixed. So I'm a little bit, yeah, I'm excited, but I'm also a little bit nervous because you know, who knows what could have happened during those 3 years. The exciting thing though is that the boat is an absolute beast, I would say. It's a monster of a boat, at least compared to my previous boat, and it's a very different kind of boat compared to most boats out there. So without further ado, I think I'm just gonna go and drive to Tromsø, and I'll show you the boat. It's going to be the first time that I'm inside the boat, and I'll take you with me. Here we are, and here is the boat. It's a beast, like I said. I've seen her from outside before, so there's not much new here for me. Aluminium, super solid construction, made at the Meta yard in France in '84 or something like that. Double rudders, ice protected, double engine, flat bottom so that you can beach her, and a big inside steering, helm station, cockpit, and a small mast. There's a lot more that I could say here, but now I'm so excited to actually go on board and on the deck and inside that I'm gonna do that instead. This is the first time for me as well. I'm just gonna get the ladder and then we're gonna go. All right, here we are on the deck, and yeah, it's it's massive and it's pretty sturdy all around. No anti-skid on the deck. That's a little bit strange. Pretty big selection of anchors here, and what else? There is some lines or reels for shorelines here. There is one for a stay further there, and then there should be a second one too, I think. And that's the helm station there. Okay, I think this solar panel shouldn't be here. It probably fell off from somewhere, but now I'm gonna go inside. Okay, this is the aft deck. bunch of stuff here. Oh, there's an anchor winch here as well. And then a seemingly watertight door. And I have the key. I have the key here. Let's go inside. This looks pretty good here. Whoa! Here we go. This is the helm station. That is the engine room down there. We are gonna go there later, I think. Double windows here. Just checking quickly if I can see if they are leaking or not, but doesn't really look like it. Looks pretty good. The electronics are not that new, but there's plenty of them. Obviously there is a stove here. I think this is a wood stove, and then further down there should be a diesel stove. So let's go down into the galley, and yeah, this is the galley area. One more seating area here. Reflex diesel stove, the same kind that I'm used to already. And then kind of the sleeping area of the boat. There are 2 bunk beds here. Then there's one cabin here. And can't really see any leaks here either. This is the heads. One head's over there. Then there's a second head over here. And the French specialty, a bathtub in there. And then there is a sleeping, oh, it's too dark. There is a double bed in there as well. But I'm gonna come back to all of that a little bit later. I think now I really need to sleep, because it's actually midnight here, and I've been driving through Finland and Norway the past 2 days, so I'm really tired. So I'm gonna continue from here tomorrow. Good morning. It's now a couple days later, and I've already done some work here on the boat. It's only gotten messier here because all of my stuff is all around the place now. Yeah, I've done a lot. I've recommissioned the freshwater system. I installed a new battery charger because the old one was broken. We already knew that. And then also connected the electricity up again. And I've started both of the engines. After some initial confusion, both of them started up fine. We have some problems with the alternator on one of the engines, and I think the RPM gauge is not working either. But the engines themselves seem to be running fine, at least during the short test here on the land. And yesterday I prepped the hull for painting, and I also prepped the rudders. The rudders are stainless steel or steel, and they are gonna get conventional paint, just epoxy with anti-fouling on top. And the hull though is painted with a French paint system. It's called inverse alu, and it's basically just I think it's just zinc mixed with bonding agent, and that functions as both anti-fouling and also as an anode. So I've never used that before, but it seems pretty clever because it doesn't need any kind of primer or epoxy. I'm gonna try to do the painting today. I'll try to paint most of the hull. I don't think I have enough of the inverse alu to paint the whole hull, but I'll do at least the waterline and the most important parts. Well, I've now painted the rudders and they still need a couple more layers of epoxy and then the anti-fouling, and I've also painted the propellers because the Hempel paint system for the propellers uses the same epoxy and epoxy primer, just less layers. So I'm gonna try it. I've never painted the props before, but let's see if it works. This is what I'm gonna use for the anti-fouling on the propellers. And now for the interesting part, the anti-fouling for the hull. I'm gonna get started on that, and that's basically just these ancient containers of zinc. Then you mix it with this. I'm not really exactly sure what it is, and let's see how it turns out. I also want to have a look at the engine room right now, so I can show you, because this is quite interesting down here. It's really big as well, so let's get down here. And oh yeah, let me just turn the lights on. There's lights in here, of course. There. Here we have both of the engines. There's some oil here that I bought. Non-diesel engines, and then oil-filled stern tube. I just filled them with oil. This is one of the electricity panels. Behind me there are 4 battery banks, and you can switch. The big switches are for choosing between the battery banks. So you can choose. You can have the domestic bank working from any battery bank, and you can also have the motors working from any battery bank. Refrigeration, you can choose between 1 and 2. You can also select the charging source for each battery bank, so you can select or you can basically direct the charge from the solar panels and the wind generators into any battery bank, and a bunch of other stuff that I haven't really yet gotten into. But yeah, it's all it's pretty well made, but it is a bit it's quite a lot to take in first. And then the engine room continues, and down here, or back here rather, is a big storage area, and then here are the rudders, double autopilot working units there, and then more batteries, battery charger, and the inverter. So this is where I'm going to be spending a bit of time, especially now when we are just getting started. So obviously this is a different kind of boat than what I'm used to. The engines do play a big part here, and we've got 2 fuel tanks plus a day tank totaling 6,000 liters. So that is a lot of fuel. That's enough fuel to be independent from any fuel sources for a couple of years, actually, if you are just doing normal cruising. Or you could do an Atlantic crossing with just engine power. So yeah, that's a lot of fuel, but that's also something that's extremely handy if you are planning to spend a lot of time in cold regions without any support, which we'd like to do at some point in the future. And of course, the boat is a lot bigger than what I'm used to. It's 47 feet and weighs, I think, fully loaded around 25 tons metric. So that's a lot, and there's only inside steering, so getting to a dock or away from a dock is going to be interesting, and for sure it's going to be a challenge. I'm actually a little bit afraid of what's going to happen when we put the boat into water, because we need to get out of this marina and it's like really tight. Like you need to make a couple of tight turns, and I've done it with my old boat. I've been here on the Heart with my old boat fixing it in one of my earlier episodes, and I know that the harbor is a little bit tricky, and yeah, just managing the twin engines and everything like that, it's going to be interesting. So yeah, I've been working pretty much non-stop the last 7 days, and in 2 days I'm gonna have 2 friends come over. Kuti and Juso are going to come over, and then we are going to splash the boat, and then that's going to be a little bit scary and exciting, because after that we need to get out of the harbor, and I don't know how I'm going to do that, because with the twin engines and small rudders, I don't know how to control a boat like this to be honest. But that's going to be in the next video. Before I finish this one, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about this boat and what we are gonna be doing with it. So we really hope to go to Greenland, and our goal in 2 years time would be to stay in Greenland for the whole winter and maybe overwinter in the ice. That's kind of the culmination at the moment that we are aiming for, and what we've got going with the boat is actually a kind of a leasing arrangement, I would call it. So we are not the main owners of the boat. There's other people as well, but we are here like kind of permanently enough so that we can call this boat our home. And yeah, it's working really well for us right now. And obviously on the internet there's always people who are not gonna like that. They're gonna say, oh, that's so boring, it's not really, you don't really own the boat completely. And other people are gonna say, hey, why are you working on the boat for basically for free or something. I don't know, there's always people who are going to complain, but for us I think this is going to work really well. And the boat itself is really something that I can get behind. You know, we've been looking for a boat like this, or you know, a boat that has this kind of a philosophy, which is just, you know, yeah, you need to make sure that everything, of course, like everything is super sturdy, and you need to make sure that everything works and is functional, but it doesn't have to be so pretty, especially not outside. You know, it's funny when I'm looking at the fiberglass boats next to us right now, and there's people who have been polishing their boats for 2 or 3 days straight. And you know, on this one though, you know, you just paint the bottom and maybe you pressure wash the deck, and that's it. Then you just splash and go for it, you know. As soon as everything is functional and safe, then the boat is good to go, and everything is like as low maintenance as possible and so on. And I really like that. I really that's something that I can really get behind. Okay, that was enough for the rant about boats and philosophy behind boats. What's next for the YouTube channel is that I want to start publishing these videos in kind of like in real time, or as close to real time as it gets. Some of you might have noticed that my previous videos were actually lagging quite far behind, and I think it's going to be just more interesting for me and also more interesting for you guys to watch things in real time. You know, sometimes I'm not so motivated to go back and look at old footage and then try to piece it all back together. So I'm gonna try to stick to this kind of real-time schedule for now, and most of the videos, or more of the videos, are now going to be more of this kind of like video blog type of thing, which maybe don't have as much like cinematic footage with drone shots and so on. But I think the story is the most important thing anyway, and that's what I'm going to try next. Like I said, next time we're gonna splash the boat and hopefully get out of the harbor. I hope it goes well, and I hope to see you guys then. Bye bye.